Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all virtually.
Yes.
So today I have 5 questions I'm going to be asking one of you guys. So we'll begin with the first one. How would you define a miracle? Again, I'll repeat that one more time. How would you define a miracle? My first victim will be Jim.
Well, that's a wonderful question. How do you define a miracle? Since I have a pretty close relationship with the man upstairs, I would say first and foremost, he is involved. I think all miracles are given by God, and I think it's unexpected, certainly, and it's something that we can't accomplish on our own. So it tends to be surprising, it tends to be shocking, and most of the time it's positive, right? We see, and many times we'll see a negative situation, a very scary and negative situation, turn into a very positive and surprising situation, such as someone who's in or just about to be in a car accident and is saved. And usually there's a lot of emotion involved, and it turns out well. So with that being said, I would say that what I do in my life is I depend on God, I trust Him, and I like to observe and attempt to proactively observe each day and try to identify miracles that I can see in my life and what surrounds me. And so if you can focus and be mindful of something that can be so positive like that, you tend to search those things out, and they tend to present themselves quite well. So it tends to be quite uplifting in your life. So that would be my take on it.
Thank you, Jim.
Eunice, could I interrupt one more time and just mention that our word for today is faith? I don't know if everybody can see this, but this is a word for today. So if you can use it in the table topics, that would be great.
Sounds good. So for question number 2, do you think miracles still happen today? I'll ask that one more time. Do you think miracles still happen today? And I'll be asking Tony.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Do miracles still happen today?
Yes.
Thank you for the question. Of course they happen. They happen all the time. And just look when the sun rises. Just look when the wind blows. Just look when there's endless number of miracles of people being saved when they don't have a chance in fires and accidents and so forth. Miracles are happening all the time. And that's because we have faith. We have faith in God, and He delivers. And endless number of times miracles are happening, and they continue to happen because there is a God. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Tony. Third question. What are some undeniable examples of divine intervention in your life? Again, what are some undeniable examples of divine intervention in your life? Mr. John Day.
Thank you, Eunice. Wow, I've been witnessing miracles in my life for the last 5 years. The very fact that I'm alive today was a miracle. Thanks, Tony.
Nice to see you again.
Things happen in our lives, and we look at them and we think, this is going to destroy me, or it's going to ruin my life, or I'm going to die from this. But it doesn't happen. Those are just obstacles we need to overcome. And we can overcome them. We just have to mainly persevere. We have to be patient, we have to be focused, and we just have to keep moving ahead. If I learned anything in the Marines in boot camp, it was Stay on the trail and keep moving. Don't give up. You can get where you want to get if you persevere. And that's been what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And my first miracle was I'm alive. My second miracle, I met a wonderful personal trainer. I said, I want to be skinny with a little muscle. That's exactly where I am today. And that's the biggest miracle of all. But these things happen to us, and you wonder, how did I accomplish this? Well, you don't accomplish it alone. You have friends who support you, encourage you, and respect you, and try to help you out. So those are a few of the miracles in my life. I feel blessed. I feel like the God of the universe is watching over me. And I think that I'm going to break 100 years old. So we'll see how that works out.
Thank you for sharing. I'm pretty sure everyone in their life has experienced one miracle or another. Our fourth question. If you were granted one wish, what would it be and why? If you were granted one wish or miracle, what would it be and why? Eleanor.
If I was granted one wish, what would be and why? As of right now, well, all of us are experiencing this pandemic, and of course, everyone wants to get back to their normal life. What is normal anyway? This life that we're in right now, this season, this could be normal, the normal in the future, where everyone's just looking at everybody's faces digitally. And as of right now, my wish would be that this pandemic would end and that we could go outside and go to a regular meeting and meet you guys, because I miss you so much. And I miss the people and my loved ones, my family. My nephew's wife just gave birth, and I can't even go visit my the newest member of the family. So my wish would be to go and see him, baby Elijah, who's born in this pandemic time. And it's like, that is a miracle. And I have so much faith in God that he will grow into a great young man, and maybe this pandemic will just be all behind us. And that would be the greatest thing, that this pandemic would end. That would be my greatest wish. Thank you so much, Miss TT.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on having a new nephew. So the last question. If you had to travel 100 years into the past or 100 years into the future, which one would you choose and why? I'll repeat that one more time. If you had to travel 100 years into the past or 100 years into the future, which one would you choose and why? Ron.
Thank you very much, Eunice. It's a pleasure to be able to think about such things. Looking into the future is always fun, because look what has happened in just the last 50 years. I mean, when I was a kid, I was walking down railroad tracks and on gravel roads, and I was using my BB gun and doing the things that you see in the movies. And that was just 50 years ago. The world has changed a lot since then. So what would it be like 100 years from now? A lot more change. But is that change good? I'm not so sure. I kind of like the idea of going back 100 years. In fact, let's see now, that would be right around the beginning of the 19th century. In fact, my parents were born in 1914. That's over 100 years ago. So if I was able to visit them, they would be young people. and it would be kind of fun to see what their life was like, although they've told me a few things, such as horse and buggy. They actually went to school in wintertime on a sleigh that was drawn by horses because the roads wouldn't be passable on any other vehicles anyway. But I think that the reason that I would choose to go back is that there's a lot more interpersonal connection, a lot more time spent together playing cards or other social games, getting to know people, having conversations, which is almost a lost art nowadays. So those are some of the reasons that I think I would prefer to go back. But also I think that going back, the country was more firmly aligned with God. That is, in recent years, we've been drifting away. And I think that's part of the reason that our social fabric is frayed, because we're not always being nice to each other and or truthful. And so those are some of the reasons I think that looking back is a little more nostalgic and less scary than looking forward. That's it.
Thank you, Ron. I would completely agree. Looking into the future, there's a lot that's changing. Look at us now. Luckily, and there's pros and cons with technology. We're able to still interact using Zoom call like this. But at the same time, there is a bit a barrier or a lack of actual interpersonal connection. But I do have faith, since we are all cooped up. Once the staying out mandate is lifted, we will definitely want to see people and want to have human interaction. So we'll see when this is all over. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.